Israel is fighting wars on multiple fronts. The IDF warns it is running out of soldiers. So the Knesset just passed a law protecting tens of thousands of men from having to serve. Shame, shame, the opposition chanted it as Netanyahu walked in. He left before the vote. The law passed anyway, 58 to 54. The Israeli parliament has passed one of the most controversial pieces of legislation in recent years, reigniting a bitter national debate over military service, equality, and the future of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's governing coalition. On July 14th, the Knesset approved a coalition-backed bill that temporarily shields tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox draft evaders from arrest and criminal prosecution, effectively freezing most Haredi enlistment into the Israel Defense Forces for the coming months. The legislation triggered scenes of extraordinary political chaos inside Parliament as opposition lawmakers repeatedly heckled Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as he entered the Knesset chamber. The confrontation unfolded during the final debate over legislation that temporarily suspends the arrest and prosecution of Haredi men who refuse mandatory military service. Despite several defections from Netanyahu's own coalition, the bill narrowly passed by 58 votes to 54. Netanyahu attended part of the debate but left the chamber before the final vote and did not cast a ballot. The legislation grants tens of thousands of Haredi draft evaders immunity from arrest until late January 2027, while also extending protection to those who become eligible for military service after the law takes effect. It additionally freezes ongoing criminal proceedings against those already facing enforcement action, effectively preserving widespread exemptions from military service. The measure forms part of a broader package of legislation demanded by Israel's ultra-Orthodox coalition partners, who have long sought to protect yeshiva students from compulsory military service. The law, however, has generated fierce opposition from the IDF, military leaders, legal experts, reservists, opposition parties, and civil society groups, many of whom argue it deepens inequality at a time when Israel continues to fight prolonged regional conflicts. The political fallout was immediate. New Hope MK and Deputy Foreign Minister Sharon Haskell resigned from the government in protest shortly after the vote, calling the legislation harmful to both Israel's security and those already serving in uniform. Opposition parties and several NGOs also filed petitions before Israel's High Court of Justice, arguing the legislation legitimizes mass draft evasion while violating the constitutional principle of equality in sharing the burden of military service. Meanwhile, Haredi lawmakers warned that judicial intervention could trigger widespread civil unrest. The legislation itself followed an intense parliamentary battle that included overnight debates, lengthy opposition filibusters, and 1,748 formal objections, as Netanyahu's coalition rushed to complete key legislation before the Knesset dissolves ahead of Israel's October 27th elections. Several coalition lawmakers also broke ranks to oppose the bill, including religious Zionism MK Moshe Solomon, Likud lawmakers Yuli Edelstein and Dan Iluz, both of whom recently announced they were leaving the party over the issue. Opposition leader Yair Lapid delivered one of the chamber's sharpest attacks against coalition members.
If you would have told one of you that one day you will go into the filling and you will vote against IDF soldiers, and you will vote for independence, and you will vote for values, and you will vote for the erasing of all values of Zionism, you would not be able to feed your stomach. After all, in another year, 2 or 3 years, you will stand alone in front of yourselves, and you will have to answer to yourselves what happened to you on that day.
Later, Lapid escalated his criticism in a post on X.
2 days ago, the draft Dodger law. Yesterday, the deserters law. Last night, the jobs law for thousands of kosher supervisors of dairy. There has never been a government as corrupt as this one. There has never been submission and groveling like that of the Likud. We will return, we will cancel everything, down to the very last clause, and then we will go and fix it. Together.
Former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett also condemned the legislation, directing his message toward Israeli soldiers.
First of all, I would like to appeal to our IDF soldiers, our sons and daughters, to the police, to the security forces, to our heroic volunteers. I see you. Hold on tight. It can be hard when you see these laws, but hold on tight, dear soldiers. Even when the current government is at war with you, we are at war for you. This government does not see you. It does not care. It knows that you are suffering. The disaster is approaching, just like before the 7th of October.
Bennett added that the burden on serving troops had become unsustainable.
Dear friends, we cannot stand in the hands of the IDF at the moment because there are no soldiers. It brings us to tears. So I would like to say to the soldiers, in my name, in the name of the entire nation, we are with you. Raise your heads, and together we will fix this terrible pain. We will rebuild the Zionist Union, a union of servants, and we will strengthen Israel.
The vote marks another major victory for Netanyahu's ultra-Orthodox coalition partners. Still, it also deepens one of Israel's most divisive domestic disputes, whether thousands of Haredi men should continue receiving broad exemptions from compulsory military service. At the same time, the country remains engaged in prolonged conflict, and the IDF repeatedly warns of critical manpower shortages.